Spot had a composition consistent with rhyolite. I deem the current intrusion to also likely involve rhyolite magma and am making a very rough guess that around 150 million cubic meters of magma is involved. This is not a good sign, as rhyolite in the East African Rift Zone always produces explosive eruptions, although to varying intensities, with my suggested volume of magma being capable of producing up to a destructive mid-end VEI-4 eruption. Due to all of this, already 700 people have been evacuated. But I think this figure should be expanded to around 10,000 people, via a temporary 15-kilometer exclusion zone between any spot on the line between and including these two sets of coordinates. However, there is some good news. The rate of earthquakes and ground deformation has decreased by 75% day over day since the intrusion's first 10 days. Also, looking at similar intrusions in the north and eastern section of the East African Rift Zone since 1970, eruptions have only resulted on 5 out of 24 occasions, including 3 previous instances at this volcano where the intrusion failed to reach the surface in 1981, 1989, and 2015. This means that while potentially quite dangerous since an eruption is still technically possible, the most likely outcome by far for now is that no eruption ends up occurring due to this magma intrusion. Kanlaon Erupts heading to the Philippines, after producing all-time record high sulfur dioxide emissions and 337 earthquakes on September 11, emissions at the Kanlaon volcano had continued to progressively decrease. And then, without much warning, the volcano erupted anew on October 18, sending a weak plume of ash 1,000 meters above its summit. These weak emissions continued, albeit infrequently, across at least the next 48 hours, although I want to strangely note that Phivolcs does not think these count as eruptions. Instead, they simply state the ash emissions are due to increased degassing remobilizing prior ash deposits on the volcano. Regardless of which is the case, these weak ash emissions are likely to continue to occur during the next several days at a minimum. Aya volcano and, in Indonesia, the alert level of the Aya volcano was increased from green to yellow on October 17, resulting in a 2-kilometer exclusion zone in all directions around its summit crater. While heightened levels of earthquakes had been occurring since July 31, something further changed on October 16. There was an appearance and then sudden jump in volcanic tremor events, going from 9 to 19 to 29 tremors on subsequent days. On both the 17th and 18th, harmonic tremor was detected, absolutely indicating the movement of shallow magma. The following day, on October 19, this harmonic tremor became constant for several hours, but the rate of volcanic earthquakes did not also similarly spike. This leads me to interpret that while yes, magma is now in a section of Ia's magma conduit, the viscous mass is too wide to advance upwards quite yet. It will take some time for the conduit to expand from the bottom up before an eruption to occur, but if one does occur, it risks generating both pyroclastic flows and ejecting bombs of lava, the latter of which are responsible for fatalities during Ia's last eruption in 1969. So, depending on the intensity of an eruption were one to occur, parts of or all of the city of Enda, population 88,000, may need to be evacuated. And now, here is a quick list of all of the list of erupting volcanoes, world's volcanoes which are currently erupting. Additionally, here are some volcanoes showing signs of unrest which are not erupting as of the recording of this video on October 20 of 2024. As a final note, I would like to thank my new